and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the World Center of Racing, the Daytona International Speedway for the Blue Greens Vacations Daytona Duels. We are here to start off season number 3 of the ChrisKraft Cup Series. 36 cars in the field, 18 will be in the first duel, and then 18 in the other duel. Now these are the qualifying events for the Daytona 500. This will set the starting grid. Duel 1, which will be up first, of course, if it's number 1, will set the inside line, and then Duel 2 will set the outside line. Here's a couple ones to watch tonight. Kyle Larson, the pole sitter for the Daytona 500. If he does not wreck the car, he will keep that spot, and the winner will start third. And then you got Denny Hamlin, who's just 2 spots behind Kyle Larson. He's looking for his first win in the ChrisKraft Cup Series. He's always good here at the Daytona International Speedway, especially when it's the Daytona 500. We're going to have to see what he can do tonight. And then a little bit further back, the Season 2 champion, Ryan Blaney. He is the defending series champion, and he's hoping to go back-to-back. We'll see if it can happen. He's going to have to start good tonight in order to start good in the Daytona 500 and keep that consistency through the season to possibly get another championship. And then even further back, you got Martin Truex Jr., who is retiring after season number 3 concludes. He got robbed of the Daytona 500 back in 2016, which is where Denny Hamlin won his first one. He's looking to get it before he retires. Let's see if he can do it. And then just behind him, we got Chase Elliott, the season number 1 champion. He's been struggling lately, as he did not qualify very well tonight, and we're going to have to see if he can make his way up through the field. And then you got one of the several rookies in the field, Josh Berry in the number 4 for Stewart-Haas Racing since Kevin Harvick retired. A new face to the ChrisKraft Cup Series, and we're going to have to see what he can do. Let's see if he makes a good first impression here tonight. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there's your ones to watch. Without further ado, here is your full starting lineup here for duel number 1. In row 1, you got Kyle Larson and Chase Briscoe. In row 2, you got Joe Gibbs' teammates Denny Hamlin and Christopher Bell. In row 3, you got RFK, Chris Buescher, and Brad Keselowski. And in row 4, you got Penske teammates Ryan Blaney and Austin Cindric. In row 5, you got RCR, Kyle Busch, and Austin Dillon. And in row 6, you got Martin Truex Jr. and Chase Elliott. In row 7, you got Shane Van Gisbergen and Harrison Burton. In row 8, you got Josh Berry and welcome back Watermelon Man, Ross Chastain. And in the final row, you got Corey LaJoie and Noah Gragson. The cars are lined up, and it is time to kick off the 3rd season of the ChrisKraft Cup Series in style. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back in business. The green flag is out for duel number 1. Kyle Larson going to get a bit of a push to an advantage from Denny Hamlin. Chase Briscoe alongside him, though. And he's going to get moved out of the way by Christopher Bell. And it looks like they might try to make it to the end. Oh, never mind. Here comes Harrison Burton to help out Briscoe. And the 3rd lane has formed with all Fords. Can they go anywhere with it, though? That's the question. Kyle Larson continues to lead, and he's going to come around to lead the first lap of duel number 1. Like we said before, as long as he doesn't tear it up. Oh, we got trouble. Austin Cindric around and hard into the inside wall. That one had to hurt. Austin Cindric spins and goes hard into the inside wall. And ladies and gentlemen, the window net is already down. That is a good sign. But this means that Cindric has to go to a backup car, which will put him at the back of the field for the Daytona 500. See if we can figure out what happened. Oh, Kyle Busch, it looked like, got into the quarter panel of Austin Cindric, and that's what sent him around. Man, and a hard lick to the inside wall. Luckily, he is okay, like we said earlier. We'll have to see if he can work his way back forward in the Daytona 500, but it is time to go back to green. Here we go. Larson with another push from Hamlin to the early lead. Things are going to get heavy on this last lap. Dillon gets loose. He saves it, though. We got a huge wreck on the front stretch heading into turn 1. And that's going to bring out the caution, and Denny Hamlin has won duel number 1. As you see the wreckage here in turn number 1, and the entrance to turn number 1. 6 cars involved, all with a lot of damage. Kyle Busch, Austin Dillon, Martin Truex Jr., Ryan Blaney, Chris Buescher, and Chase Elliott are the drivers involved in the incident. Luckily, everyone has climbed out of their race cars. We're going to have to look at the replay. I have no idea what happened there. I'm thinking Blaney got the wrong push from Ross Chastain. I think that's what sent him around, and it just caused a chain reaction. Here it is again. Oh, yeah, definitely the wrong push from Ross. Sent Blaney into Elliott and Kyle Busch. Busch got into Dillon. Dillon got into Buescher. And Martin Truex Jr. also got tagged by someone. Very unfortunate for all these drivers, as they're all going to have to go to backup cars, which will put them at the back of the field for the Daytona 500. As this was a one-lap shootout to the checkers, because of this caution, we ended the race because there was only one lap left, and Denny Hamlin is the winner. However, just because he won the duel does not mean that he starts on the pole for the Daytona 500. Kyle Larson did not tear up the car, so he will stay on the pole for the Great American Race. Here's a quick rundown of your results. Denny Hamlin finishing with the win. Kyle Larson second, Brad Keselowski third, Christopher Bell fourth, Ross Chastain fifth, Chase Briscoe sixth, Corey LaJoie seventh, Harrison Burton eighth, Shane Van Gisbergen ninth, and Noah Gragson rounds out the top 10. Josh Berry finishing 11th, Martin Truex Jr. finishing 12th, Chase Elliott 13th, Ryan Blaney 14th, Chris Buescher 15th, Austin Dillon 16th, Kyle Busch 17th, and rounding out the field was Austin Cindric. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that'll do it for duel number 1. Denny Hamlin comes out on top after a caution, coming to the white flag. Or, well, not really coming to the white flag, but they were already on the last lap. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're not done. Yeah, sure, we did a race, but we're not done. Duel number 2 is coming up next, and we'll see you all there. We'll be right back after this commercial break. One commercial break later. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are back here at the Daytona International Speedway for duel number 2. For the start of the season, this is the final qualifying event for the Daytona 500. We got an interesting front row. Of course, a Hendrick Motorsports driver up there, Alex Bowman. And Michael McDowell was the fastest qualifier of the second group, so he is on the pole for this duel. If he does not tear up that race car, he will start second in the Daytona 500. Here we got a couple of ones to watch. Of course, like we just said, Michael McDowell on the pole for this duel. Once again, if he does not tear up that race car, he will keep that second starting spot in the Daytona 500. However, if he wrecks out, he will have to start at the back. And then just behind him, Alex Bowman, looking for his second win in the ChrisKraft Cup Series. He won last season in race number 3 at the ChrisKraft Raceway by a long shot. Chase Elliott finished second to him, and Bowman dominated that day. Let's see if he can do it again, and hopefully he can try and win the Daytona 500. And then a little bit further back, we got William Byron. He got robbed of a championship, a potential championship for him in season number 1 when he was lapping a car at the Martinsville Speedway, and the lapped car turned him around and ended his championship hopes. Let's see if he can redeem himself and maybe start off well in season number 3 and possibly get a championship to join his Hendrick Motorsports teammate in the Championship Wall of Fame. And then starting about mid-pack, you got Daniel Suarez. He won race number 2 of season number 2 at the Port Royal Speedway for the Matt Pat Tribute, and we have not seen him win since. He has been doing pretty average so far in this series. We'll see if he can get a win here and possibly win the Daytona 500. He's done it before in the ChrisKraft Cup Series, but we'll see if he can do it here in the ChrisKraft Cup Series. And ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, here is your starting grid for duel number 2 at the Daytona International Speedway. On the front row, you got Michael McDowell and Alex Bowman. In row 2, you have Kimi Räikkönen and Joey Logano. In row 3, you got Jimmy Johnson and William Byron. In row 4, you got Zane Smith and rookie John Hunter Nemechek. In row 5, you got Bubba Wallace and Daniel Suarez. In row 6, you got Ryan Preece and Daniel Hemrick. In row 7, you have Eric Jones and Ty Gibbs. In row 8, you have Anthony Alfredo and Carson Hocevar. And in the final row, you got Ricky Stenhouse and Connor Daly. The cars are lined up, and we are ready to go racing in duel number 2 at the Daytona International Speedway. Michael McDowell and Alex Bowman lead him to green. The green flag is out in duel number 2. They're pretty even coming to the line. Michael McDowell has a slight advantage over Alex Bowman on that outside line. And the third lane already forming. Kimi Räikkönen leading it. And he's going to jump right up in front of Alex Bowman. Here comes Byron. Räikkönen gets loose. He somehow saves it. And Byron is your new leader. Whoa, Jimmy Johnson getting a little squirrely back there. As Byron leads lap 1, we're going to go with an onboard camera for him here in a minute. As Bowman continues to push his teammate, and they're going to come to the white flag this time by. The field has closed back in on the Hendrick cars. Joey Logano now leading that inside line, and he's got to run. Oh, Nemechek's loose, and he collects Logano. They're both hard into the wall. And the leaders did make it across the line before the caution came out. That means duel number 2 is over. William Byron is the winner. An unfortunate turn of events for these two drivers. John Hunter Nemechek looked like he got the wrong push. Let's look at the replay here and find out. So it looks like Jimmy Johnson's pushing him. Oh, the wrong push. Gets Nemechek loose. He comes down, spins onto Logano, and they both go hard into the inside wall. Wow, we have had a lot of DNFs here in the Daytona Duels. William Byron is victorious in duel number 2. Let's take a quick look at your race results. William Byron takes the win, Alex Bowman 2nd, Michael McDowell 3rd, Jimmy Johnson 4th, and Eric Jones 5th. Zane Smith in 6th, Anthony Alfredo 7th, Daniel Suarez 8th, Bubba Wallace 9th, and Daniel Hemrick rounds out the top 10. Carson Hocevar comes home 11th, Kimi Räikkönen 12th, Ryan Preece 13th, Ricky Stenhouse 14th, and Connor Daly 15th. Ty Gibbs in 16th, John Hunter Nemechek 17th, and Joey Logano rounds out the field. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for the Daytona Duels to kick off season number 3 of the ChrisKraft Cup Series. Thank you all so much for watching. Season number 3 will officially kick off on August 7th for the Daytona 500 as the Duels set the starting grid today. If this is what the Duels brought to the table, who knows what's going to happen in the Daytona 500. Thank you all so much for watching. Stay tuned for the kickoff of season number 3 of the ChrisKraft Cup Series. We'll see you all here back at the Daytona International Speedway on August 7th. ChrisKraft signing out.